on live, right? All right. Welcome everybody to the July 21st, Tuesday special notice of special session budget workshop. Let the record reflect that all the members of the court are present except for Commissioner Kennedy, who is still out on convalescent leave. All right, and if you would, please, everybody come to attention, and we'll go ahead and have the opening prayer. And Commissioner Pitts is going to lead us in that prayer. Sir.
Kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning, Lord, and we just thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity to come together, Lord, and take care of county business. We just pray that your guiding hand will be on us in all the decisions made here today, Lord, to benefit all of our constituents, Lord. I also want to lift up Commissioner Kennedy, Lord, and just pray for you to continue to heal his body and get him back into court, Lord. We just ask all these things in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And go ahead and follow Commissioner Cheshire as we honor the U.S. flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And remain standing as Commissioner Harrison honors the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Please be seated. All right, we're gathering today prior to posting. This is the first actual time that we've got together as a court, and we're going to be working on trying to figure out exactly where everybody is on our budget. We've actually, the auditor and I have already had a couple of meetings, and we've got a process in place to present to the commissioners, and that way you'll be able to see exactly where we are at this point and get y'all's input. All right. If you would, please go to the, first of all, if you'll open up your computers and go to the tax rate. At the bottom of the page, it'll be 0.43712 tax rate.
What's the password?
Oh. It should be, you should be able to go to your regular, in other words, just go to your regular password and put down there, new user, other user, click on other user.
On that page.
And then put in your
I don't know if you want to click on
G. Harrison.
same tax rate.
Yeah, it's correct.
And then your regular password.
No, I use all the time.
And that should go ahead and come right back up. While Greg's getting there, I'll say that in the past, what you're looking at is Janice has posted several years back, so you can kind of get an idea of exactly what we've been looking at in past years on the same items.
Says we can't sign in with this credential.
You can't sign in with that.
Credential.
Okay. What about y'all? Everybody else on?
We're signed in.
Okay.
Try a different password.
Great. Other user, click OK. Okay. You're gonna have to change the username.
Junk.
You got the number?
I don't.
Carmen's up.
Yes.
I can slide it down there.
Yeah. Yeah, Greg,
Yeah.
why don't you slip over here and use this, right here, cause it's already up.
You can slide it down there a little way.
Yeah, yeah, we're spaced good enough.
I'll just get over here.
Yeah, you got it. And right here,
My mouse, you mean?
okay, there you go. There. All right. All right, we're all up now, apparently. All right, Janice, are we good to go? Okay, all right. Now that we're all online, if you would, please go to the, on the bottom left corner, you'll see the .43712 tax rate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, click on that. You'll see exactly, now the .43712 tax rate is exactly what it was last year and the year before. When we first looked at this, we were 1.6, if I remember correctly, Janice, 1.6 million upside down, I think, to begin with on the, when we first looked at this, before we started making adjustments
Well, we
and
started
changed the
out,
tax rate.
we started out with the
The effective, yeah,
rate that Billy had calculated based on the preliminary numbers that we
Right.
have from the appraisal district. And that, if you look at that first tab, the 2020 tax rate, that is using the .40967 rate that Billy has given us. So that rate, using that rate and then applying the revenue that that's gonna generate and putting in to the worksheets all the requests, there were like 1.5 million upside down.
yeah, it
Now,
was,
that doesn't reflect, because I mean, as we've made changes, I haven't made 14 different spreadsheets. I mean, it's,
oh,
the
yeah,
general fund with the year-to-date pay balances is the worksheet based on the .43712 tax rate right now.
Yeah.
But the effective rate, no new rate, whatever it
was
was.
.40,
Was .40967,
right,
but that is just based on preliminary numbers. from the
Right.
appraisal district.
does that all make sense at this time?
Yes.
Everybody
Yes.
understand? Okay, all right, but right now, this is the proposal right now, is a .43712 tax rate, which is in compliance with the new guidelines that the legislature has come out with. It's just barely under the limit.
Revenue cap.
Yes, exactly. And, so right now, that's exactly what we're trying to work with at this point. Of course, the effective tax rate is now called the no new revenue rate, and of course, the rollback rate is the voter approval tax rate, but everything, right now, we're in compliance with what we're looking at doing. Okay, now if you would, click, you can see exactly, now these are preliminary figures, we do not have the software yet from the state to get the final figures, and we have not gotten the certified tax rolls yet. Hopefully, we're looking at maybe Thursday of this week to have that. This is a preliminary look at what we're looking at for right now, to try to give everybody opportunity to see. Now, let's go to the general fund. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. Janice, the general fund and go all the way to the right where the 2021 proposed, and we should be able to look at everything there, correct? Okay. All right. So in the general fund, is everybody there? It says general fund year to date, May. Okay, but go all the way to the right where it has 2021 proposed. Everybody there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now, as we go down through this, get an idea as far as income and where it comes from. But what we're looking at, to begin with, we had the requested 2021 requested rate was in the K column. Everything that was requested that came in, all of the actual requests from the different departments, everything is in that column. And so as we go down through there, you can see exactly the changes that were made.
What's the highlighted ones? Just,
Those are ones that we had questions about that are something that we've already talked about and didn't highlight them, and some of them were things that we were wanting to draw attention to go back and look at later on. But that's not something that's necessarily, oh, I know one thing, right there on the, conference amount, go down to item number 83. I'm sorry, item number 83, line 83, conference for precinct 4. That's where that was highlighted because of the amount. It was something that we were going to talk about and request clarification on. Commissioner?
my 88 is capital outlay.
Oh. Online?
I thought he said 83.
83, line
Oh,
number
okay,
83.
gotcha. 83.
Line number 83.
I'm with you.
Commissioner Cheshire, is that still gonna be
Yeah,
what you
we
need?
we didn't use any of that, from 2020, we haven't used any of it out of 2020 because of COVID. If the conferences are available in 2021, we'll
You
use
still,
it.
you still need to leave that in there.
We'll use it, yeah.
All right.
And if like in 2020, we don't use it, it rolls over, so, you know, it's.
All right. Coming on down. Reduce several things in the judge's budget that we didn't need. Need some changes there. The big changes were that last year I was pushing to try to get across the board raise of the $2,080 across the board for everybody. That was priority this year. I'm trying to get that imposed. That is going to be in the proposed budget. And we had departments that were asking for raises for their people, and we took all those raises out, and most everybody knows what's going on. We took those raises out if we're gonna do the 2,080 across the board raises. So that was one of the big changes, that the requested raises were taken out. And then, the 2,080 across the board for everybody is in there.
I guess that'll be reflected in the salary.
Yes, yes, it will. Yes, it will. Go through this right quick. And the departments that had raises included, as far as I know, they have all understood that we took the raises out and put in the 2,080 across the board. Okay? All right, now, let's get down to the, line number, go down to 222. And, down for the constables. Constable in precinct 2. Precinct 1, there was no changes, with the exception of the, 2008. But go down here to the constables. We had 3 constables that primarily been asking for parity pay. And we got 3 different constables and 3 different amounts of pay. And my recommendation, which is reflected here, is precinct 2, precinct 3, and precinct 4 all be brought up to the same amount of money. Whereas right now, precinct 4 was being paid more because of the original arrangement that was made years back, and we're trying to bring them all more back in line for parity pay. The other thing is, if you look at line number 233, radio equipment, the constables asked last year that they're able to be a lot more effective with their work if they had the computer and a tie-in and module where they can actually get online with law enforcement, and also where dispatch will always know where they are. Okay? As far as a safety issue, we had several instances over the last couple of years where the constables that don't have all the equipment in their vehicles like the sheriff's deputies do, where they're in a situation where they're serving papers and there's an altercation and the sheriff's office is not able to find them. So what we're doing is we're trying to put this equipment in their car at $8,200 per unit. And as a safety issue, not have that ever happen again. We don't want anybody out there being in jeopardy. So that $8,200 is in each one of the constables' car for radio equipment.
Where's the pay at? Which
Oh,
one?
the pay is gonna be,
It's the yellow tab at the
You can't actually
bottom.
look at compensation
Okay.
and benefits because each one of those has different length of time.
But you're talking about, yeah, but you're
Yeah,
talking about raising
but
them
what we're
to,
gonna do down there, we're gonna get down to it and see the salary schedule.
okay,
That's the next thing. I kinda want to try to get
Yeah.
through all this first.
yeah.
And then we'll get down here and I'll show you what, where we're at for right now. But I want y'all to see the $8,200 radio equipment. Now, please, any comments that y'all have, please go ahead and add. Right on down to the county jail. And security, you'll see some highlighted items there, and we made some changes. Election administration, you'll see a capital outlay, pretty substantial right there. And Janice added that. Janice, you wanna address that, let them know exactly what you saw?
Well, that's our note for the election equipment that we purchased 2 years ago. I think this is going to be the final payment on that. And
Okay.
Elizabeth just included her request, and so.
Right. At this time, thinking that that's a one-time, that should be the final payment?
I think that's.
Okay, good. All right. And on down to public health and welfare, emergency management.
I'm gonna ask a question here.
Sure.
Are they trying to add another narcotics detective and a deputy? Is that what we're doing here?
Yes, no. The yes part is, and Janice, correct me if I'm wrong, but we had a deputy that our mental health deputy
Mm-hmm.
is no longer there in that status. And what basically is ended up doing, yes, they had asked for a narcotics deputy and then replacing that position. Right now, what we're looking at is doing away with the position for the mental health deputy and just adding the narcotics deputy. So actually, all you're doing is not actually adding a position, but you're adding
You're losing that.
losing
mental health
one
and-
deputy
yeah.
and putting another deputy in
In
that
that
place.
spot.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah.
And then,
Now, there was just a few $100 difference between the pay they were requesting for
Yeah.
narcotics investigator versus the mental health deputy that will go away.
Yeah.
Because Bird Center is not gonna be, as far as we know, is not going to renew the contract for
Mental health.
yeah,
So that position would be going away out of the sheriff's department's salary schedule, but then they were requesting narcotics.
right. And while we're talking about that, Greg, I'm glad you brought that up, because while we're talking about that right now, go back to the constables.
Mm-hmm.
When I met with the constables a couple of days ago and we talked about all this, there was, and this is all gonna come out when we go down to the salary schedule, but, I asked for some help from them that has to do with mental health. We have, at one time, years back, constables did mental health transport. Okay, and that hasn't taken place in a number of years. But they're qualified to do it, and I asked them, they're asking for increased budget, and, you know, we're discussing, we're doing the, increased expense in their vehicles and this sort of thing. But Burke Center has really had a lot of problem filling those slots for mental health transport. It pays separate. It pays extremely well. It's $40+ an hour, okay? We've been able to rely on the mental health deputy when we had a mental health deputy there. Now that we don't have that deputy there, I reached out to the constables and said, guys, the county needs you to step into that role and help out. We've got X number, we've got some deputies that are doing it, we've got LPD that's doing it, but we really need you guys to step up to the plate, because we're having problems finding people to transport the mental health. They're furnished a vehicle, furnished gas. All they have to do is have a law enforcement officer transfer them to Houston or to Beaumont or to Waco, wherever they're ending up going.
Okay.
And so I did put that request in, and the word that I got back was that, yes, they're willing to do that. So, I wanted y'all to know about that. All right, now, let's see, we're down to emergency management coordinator. You'll notice that the request for the new vehicle, is back out. Brian, at this point, we're trying to look at maybe sliding another year on that.
Ricky talked to me like that transmission's fixing to go.
Yeah,
Or-
yeah, I know, he told me that it's been doing some slipping, and we're 122,000 miles, I think. And that should not be doing it at that time, but anyway, neither here nor there. I know that we're liable to have some expense at that without replacing it. We're trying to get by another year, if at all possible.
On Ricky's vehicle?
On Ricky's vehicle, yeah. On Ricky's vehicle. I'm sorry, it was a request last year, and, I've already talked to him about it, but we're trying to get by another year if we can without replacing it. All right, coming on down. Everything's pretty much the same and understandable. I'm already down to district attorney. Of course, y'all are aware of the fact that there's been lots and lots of changes with the grant positions and the increase in personnel in the district attorney's office. Janice has put in double overtime trying to keep up with all that because it is complicated. And then data processing, there was a request with all the computers that we have throughout Angelina County. And what we're doing right now with processing, there was a request for an additional person. And at this time, that additional person is still left in there.
In the DA?
No, I'm sorry, in data processing.
Okay.
Yeah, district attorney is where we are with the granted positions and the ones that we left in there last year. Courthouse maintenance had also asked for an additional person. We've got a big problem with, a situation that we're gonna have to address in courthouse maintenance. The jail almost needs a person over there all the time because of the maintenance responsibilities over there. There was a request for another person. We're trying to take that. We did not took that request out for this year. As of right now, that's where we are. The maintenance department is still at the same manning. Now, that is a problem because the maintenance department is doing a lot of things has nothing to do with maintenance. One of them is during this very, very busy year of elections. They're spending sometimes a day, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 days just moving equipment around. And that is not really something that they're supposed to be doing. It's just that it's something that was inherited over the years. So we need to be looking at maybe making some changes there down the line, or eventually adding that other person. I'm sorry.
Did you say that the position was, the new position they're requesting is not included in this number? Because it is.
Oh, it is?
Yes, it's still in there. We did not take it out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood yesterday.
No, we were saying that you said you were gonna talk to Phil.
Oh, I did talk to him.
Okay, well, it's still in here as of right now.
Thank you. Thanks for the clarification, because I did talk to him and it was my understanding that it was coming out, but as of right now, it is still in there. Okay, thank you. All right.
Quick question.
Certainly.
On, I just noticed in, I don't know, okay, maintenance, on the ACs, where did I see it, R&M ACs. And then capital outlay, I know a lot of that goes to ACs. But I also noticed on the sheriff's department, they have capital outlay $80,000 for AC. I mean, are we doing it, is each department trying to cover their own ACs,
No.
or?
No. In the maintenance, where maintenance department is covering the maintenance on the building itself at the courthouse, then that's covered in that budget. But now maintenance is making the determination for the jail as to when those units need to be replaced. But yes, in the air conditioning, since that is attached to that building out there, that's the reason it's in that budget.
Well, what does everybody else do? That was my question, like over here, the air conditioner goes out, where does that?
This is all part of building maintenance because this is a courthouse annex.
So the unit would come out of Hilton's budget.
Yes, courthouse maintenance, yes. The only reason that the jail is different and the sheriff's, office is because that is a different building.
Well,
If that makes sense.
our office is a different building.
Right.
I mean,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's because, we have to keep up with the expenditures of law enforcement separate. We try to keep up with the costs for different things that we do. In reporting, we keep up with the law enforcement expenditures as a separate expense. So jail and sheriff's office is their department. All the other buildings goes through Hilton's budget with the exception of senior citizens building and adult probation. We have line items for the expenditures of those two buildings and their expenditures of those two lines. But Hilton's budget takes care of all the buildings with the exception of the sheriff and the jail, adult probation, and the senior citizens.
And, juvenile probation.
And juvenile, yes.
Yeah.
Well, some of theirs falls under local funding that we give them, but if they can get it covered by a grant, they do. But a lot of it does come in.
But it's covered in their budget. Does that make sense? right?
Yeah, I just noticed with budgeting,
Yeah.
air conditioners here and air conditioners here.
Good question. All right. Moving on down to data processing.
What line does that start on?
Down to 438. 438. Okay? All right, any questions there? And we're back down to courthouse maintenance again. 455. And you'll see notes out to the right when you see down there that Janice added. That was something that had been overlooked or changed.
And sometimes they
And
just
it's
left it
highlighted.
blank because they didn't know.
Right.
Until they filled it in. And then I filled it in,
Right.
made adjustments.
And that's an answer to your question about the highlighter. Okay. And then moving on down. Okay, now we're down in, 472.
Hold on a minute, brother.
I'm sorry,
What's the new department?
new department.
$1,000.
That's secret. Okay.
Must be communications.
No.
That was my suggestion.
Yeah.
But as you can see, it's blank, so.
Okay, what line are you on, Greg?
Starts at 456.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Janice, basically, that's, from the line items, it's just
Yeah.
insurance, right?
Well, if we're gonna keep up with the towers, which after talking to Randy and there was a misunderstanding on my part, the judge cleared that up, but I was thinking we needed to be keeping the cost of the towers separate. And if we did, then we have insurance, we have repairs, we'll have, electricity and gas and all that. And so I set it up to keep all of it separate, but then the judges cleared up some misinformation
Well-
that I had, and so now it's all supposed to be going through the sheriff's department like they have previous.
It's always been that way in the past, and when I was talking to the chief yesterday, there was some concern about if we have equipment failures out there, that their budget is not gonna be adequate to take care of it, and that their concern was whether or not that was a good idea, or whether or not that actually needed to be in a separate line item. They were kinda along the lines of your thinking, and even though in the past it's always been in the sheriff's budget, you know, to take care of that, what they didn't want to do, since we've added these 2 new towers and the equipment on the 3rd tower down at Diamond, just the insurance alone, if we decide to insure them later on, there was discussion as to whether or not that needed to be on a separate line item.
We're insured now.
Yeah,
We're paying insurance on that.
right. Right. Now, the tower and the equipment down at Diamond,
Well, I don't know that, I don't know, Randy.
that's insured by the city.
Okay, but our towers are insured.
Okay, all right.
Through what department? Through the sheriff department?
Well, yeah, at the moment it is.
As of right now. And so that was one question as far as the new department. And then we've got another new department that we're looking at that y'all need to be aware of when we get down to discuss that. But as of right now, that's what that $1,000 was.
Yeah, I understand. but I mean,
Nothing,
how do you go?
nothing is done there. It's,
Yeah.
nothing was proposed. We haven't made any changes. It was just something that we're looking at the best way to handle it. Now, all of that equipment now, those towers, everything is insured as of right now. The equipment is put up, the equipment's in place, everything is there. But as of right now, nothing has changed. It is all at the sheriff's, right now, in the sheriff's budget.
So we're just gonna put $1,000 up?
No,
Whatever.
that was $1,000 requested that Janice had put in there, but no, that's requested, it's not proposed.
So, okay.
Nothing is done there, that's just something that had to do primarily with what we're looking at for repair and maintenance of the air conditioning units, the facilities, the equipment, and everything. For that is not an expense right now, but it could be down the road, okay? All right. We good to go down? That's, if you'll see on 465, that's communication towers. And that's something that we need to discuss at a later date. All right, moving on down. Do y'all see anything in this next section? This is where all the funds that we contribute to the health district, the senior citizen center, the debt cog dues, the different dues that we have for the different associations that the county belongs to, and you'll go all the way down to contingency. You'll see the proposed this year in contingency is back to the 200,000, like it's been in years past. That's line item 507. Okay, any questions
Do we
there?
have any other options in case of an emergency besides contingency?
No.
That seems kind of small.
Well, it's always been in the past. You know, last year, of course, we had, we knew that we had all this expense coming in on the towers.
Right.
And we knew that to begin with. So last year, I elected to leave more money in there because we knew we had those expenses coming. Now, as of this year, of the money that, you know, what we had going in last year. Janice, what did you say that this year is, we were talking about the other day, what we've got left in contingency right now? About 130, wasn't it?
I'm thinking 130, but I don't remember if that is less that last adjustment, that last transfer I did for the 67,000 for
Oh.
communication hours. I can look onto it.
Yeah, if you would, go look and check for that. That way you'll know for
I
sure.
guess in years past, we've done okay.
We've done okay with the 200,000. Last year was an unusual year in that we knew that we had all these expenses coming in, and there was no way of knowing exactly what those expenses were going to be. We knew a lot of them, but we didn't know. That's why we put the extra amount in there, and it's worked out. All right. I think my mouse just died. All right. Let's see here. Let me. There it goes. I got a blue line again.
CPR on the mouse.
That's right, I had to do CPR on the mouse. All right. Coming on down, JP1,
What number?
I'm sorry, 517 through 531. I'm down to 531 right now. There was no major changes there. Just like in Constable number 1, he didn't request anything new that's tied to that office. JP2, three, down to 567.
Does this show with the raises?
Yes, it does
That's what
reflect
I-
that, yes.
And the longevity pay and all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
and that's
stuff,
that's all in there.
Okay.
Yes. And then JP4. Okay, now, you'll notice that we're at the bottom. And you'll see line number 588, total revenues over or under expenditures. Right now, on the 2021 proposed, where we are right now is $15,071 to the good. And also, any of you guys that need this particular program to look at later on, if you don't want to look at it, I've got it on, so you can put it on your computer and take it with you, this sort of thing. But as of right now, that's what we're looking at. Now, just as a quick, so now that you've kind of seen, and we'll go over to salaries next, but if you would, go down to the bottom and click back on the 0.43712 tax rate. And I want to show you one thing on the tax rate. These are the facts and figures that we have to work with at this time. And that's going to change slightly, but hopefully it won't change too much. But what I want you to focus on is go to the Road and Bridge Fund. And come down to line number 28 on that particular page. And you will see, follow it across, and you'll see that it's 0.07250. It has been, the road and bridge fund has been roughly 6.5 cents.
Mine's still showing that.
Not, that's, you're looking at the 2020. That was last year, right here. Right there.
Oh, you said line 28.
Yeah, see that point,
Oh, okay.
7250?
Yeah, this is,
This was last year's, this was the year that we're operating in,
gotcha.
right now. So what we're operating on right now, do you see that?
Oh,
Greg?
yeah. Yes.
Okay, what we're operating on right now is 6.5 cents, okay? What the proposal is, the request from y'all was go up 2 cents to 8.5 cents. We couldn't make it work. We kept adjusting, but we're trying to get y'all more operating expenses if at all possible. And so we went to 0.7250 in order to make it work out. It actually worked out better than expected, but you can see that because of the revenue, look at the difference in what you're gonna have to work with compared to last year. Does that make sense? Do you understand that? Okay, the 2020 budget, bring it over and you'll see exactly what you got to work with in comparison. It's a pretty big difference.
About $80,000.
Right. Okay, so y'all see that. All right. If you're done there, then let's go to the salary schedule. Janice, do we need to go to the salary schedule as is or with request?
Well, I go to the salary schedule with the request, because
Okay.
as is what everything is current.
Now but that has the 2080 in it, or?
No, the 2080 comes under the salary schedule / judge. The salary schedule with the request is what everything is currently, plus all the requests from all departments.
Okay,
That's just what was requested. The salary schedule / judge is what, with the raise plus your recommendations.
okay.
So we're with request.
That's what I'm looking at, with request, salary schedule, judge. Okay, slide a little bit further on the bottom, right here at the bottom, and see that salary schedule right there. Greg, you see
That's
that?
what I'm learning to do.
Okay, good. And that salary schedule judge. Is that correct, Janice?
The salary schedule / judge is gonna have, if there's, the numbers are in bold, that means that there was request changes, and they may not have got them. If it's in highlighted in yellow, that was a new requested position, so, and it may or may not be there.
Okay.
On the judge's schedule.
All right.
If it was in bold, that means there was a change, but he may not have.
Okay, as an example, I'm gonna show you. Come down on that salary schedule judge, okay? And go down to line number 128. Let me know when everybody's there.
Constable Precinct 1.
Yeah. There's, right there, the constables are in, and this is where, this is answer to your question, Greg. Constable Precinct 1, Precinct 3, and Precinct 4. At one time, Precinct 4 was $2,000 and $3,000 higher than the other two constables. Okay, Precinct 2 and 3 hadn't been raised in quite a while. Now this right here is, right now the proposed is trying to get the three of them in parity. In other words, the three of them that are doing basically the same job, putting them in parity. Now, there is also differences in their certificate pay and some other things that has nothing to do with it. But all three of those right now are at that this year, and then they're getting the additional 2,080 you'll see in the next line that's being added, the 2,080. And suggestion, precinct 2 and precinct 3 is getting a pretty decent raise.
From where? What were they making?
Okay, precinct 2 is currently making $42,654. Precinct 3 is currently making $41,450, and precinct 4 is currently making $45,061.
Yeah. So
So
what
he's
I'm trying,
making-
yeah, what I'm trying to do is get the three of them as far as parity, all with where they were, but then we're adding the 2,080 on top of that. So,
And then $8,000 worth of equipment.
and $8,200 worth of equipment for their vehicles too. Yes, thank you. Okay, does everybody understand exactly where we are there?
Let me make sure I do.
Okay,
So they're at 40, take precinct 3. He's at 41. You said 41,450 right now?
43, okay, he's at 41,450.
And we're proposing to move him to 43,
no, 45,061.
45,061. Then if we get to 2,000,
Then
so
that's
we're
getting
all
up
the
to
way to
47. Yes.
But it has nothing to do with their performance and all that kind of stuff.
No,
Just they've been
no,
there.
it's just, I'm trying to get the three of them, well, no. The parity of the three of them, the pay has been unequal between the three of them for years and years and years, and it needs to be equal. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure that those raises don't need to be greater, but the $8,200 worth of equipment that we're putting in their cars really strains the budget this year. I'm thinking that maybe next year, maybe we can even do better on that.
Precinct 1, is he getting the radio deal?
No, he's already got it. He's got it. It was
no one
furnished.
got it.
He's the
City
only
Lufkin.
one that's got it. and
City of
it's-
Lufkin provides it for them.
Does,
It was not furnished by the county.
yeah.
It was furnished by LPD and has been for a long time. But his was the only constable car that was completely equipped. Okay?
Yeah.
But it was not a county expense. Okay, any other questions? Now, other salary increase, you can go right on down the line, but you're gonna be looking at this 2,080 on the D line is being added across the board.
It's not on precinct 4.
Should be now.
No, it's not.
Oh, that's because,
Because I changed it.
yes, that was, Bobby,
Yeah.
the reason was because after you made the call to me, we didn't get it on my stick, okay?
All right.
Okay, but that has changed, that change has been done.
Okay,
We went back to current,
right,
and then the 2009.
okay. How do we reconcile that to,
I'll just, I mean,
Okay, and Greg, go down to line 287, or go up to it wherever you were,
Yeah, I'm there.
and you see that request?
Yeah.
That was what you're looking at. The difference was just very slight between the two. the one that went away and that. Bobby?
You have to read your-
You
Ma-
can go back and look at salary schedule as is.
Yes.
See what is current,
Right,
and then that would go into the column,
yes.
and then the 2008 would add to it.
Okay.
And I'll get you off, we can get updated worksheets and stuff with that,
Okay.
those changes made after the judge got his.
Yeah, that was after the meeting yesterday. Okay, and then you'll go down to 327 and you'll see that certificate pay and that deputy has been done away with. Okay. All right. I'm moving on down. We've had a situation in our courts, and y'all need to be very aware of this. Reporters in the district courts and the court at law 1 and 2, there has been a shortage of court reporters. Okay. There's some adjustment. What we did this last year, and actually started on it before the end of the year, was trying to transfer some of that to electronic methods instead of having a person sitting there. And what has happened with all the COVID mess that we've been dealing with over the last 6 months is actually worked out pretty good, because we had a lot of this movement toward electronic court reporting / recorder. And we made some changes in the personnel nomenclature to where it doesn't just say reporter now. A lot of times it's reporter / recorder, and that allows a person to be able to be in that position that's actually operating recording equipment instead of just a reporter. So this is something that's been happening statewide, the shortage of recorders. I just want y'all to be aware of it. It is something that we're addressing, but y'all needed to be aware of it. Okay, moving on down the line. You'll see line number 449 and line number 456
Don,
is the 2 requests.
let's do something right quick.
Sure.
435,
435, okay?
all right. That requested, 26 weeks.
Yes.
Is that the money they didn't use last year?
Yes, no, yeah.
Yes, that $109,000 that Janet has requested, that it was for 7, what was left over from 7 different positions, and that it was gonna be a rollover. Well, technically, you don't reserve rollover money. I mean, it goes back into the general fund balance, and it's don't roll over. But to follow through with her request, I took $109,000 and I divided it out based on the current salaries of those grant positions, and that money will only last for 26 weeks. That's still a shortfall based on, well, the problem is, we don't know when the grant's gonna end, it's still all up in the air.
Right.
But the grant, the way I would understand it, is it would end August 31st. Well, this is only gonna take you to June. So you still got a couple of months there shortfall. But another issue is that you're taking money and the only thing I could do was create 3 new positions in her department. Well, those 3 positions are they would have to be a temporary position, because temporary positions, it was just gonna be a short-time thing. So that creates a problem. So, but of course, these people are full-time right now, they continue to be full-time, so they want to continue to get their benefits and all that. But a temporary person, temporary position, doesn't get that. So, this is just a problem.
We got 2 grants, and one of them, it looks like, has been extended, and they're working on the other one to try to get it extended. As of right now, that hasn't happened, and we're not 100% sure exactly where that's gonna go, but we think they're probably gonna get extended.
Yeah, but the only thing is, you know, the, road and bridge don't wanna carry money over.
Correct.
But we as commissioners can carry this money over for them, can we not?
No, not really.
No, not technically. You're
Yeah.
gonna, it would just have to be creating a new position and setting a salary for it. Is that, am I correct, Terry?
Yes, sir. But you can't carry that money over from salaries from one year to the next. Just goes back into the general fund, but I think she was just proposing in principle that she had all these salaries where she didn't use up all the money, and she wanted that amount of money to be, I guess, awarded for the next year to help carry these positions over, as I understand it. But it would be newly budgeted money, it's not, you can't carry it over from one budget to the next.
So you'd be creating 3 new positions.
At $109,000.
Well, that $109,000 is the difference that was left from the positions previous, from all 7 positions that she's had money left over from. That's the magic number, is the $109,000. But like I say, the $109,000 with full benefits is only gonna last 26 weeks, so you're still gonna have a shortfall there. I mean, a possibility of a shortfall between the end of that time to where the grant.
Yeah.
I mean, until we know the status of the grants and.
We don't know for sure. Now, you know, of the 7 positions, 2 of those were new positions, and those are full-time.
Yeah, she got 2 new
Positions.
positions last year.
So there's actually 3 positions that were actually the granted positions that we're talking about that's in the unknown area. And that's actually where the issue is, and we should know something hopefully within next few weeks as to whether or not those positions are gonna get extended or what. But anyway, that's exactly where we are there,
Okay.
okay? You ready?
Yep.
But
All right.
we need to make sure y'all understand that those positions are not being included in the judge's salary schedule.
The 2 new positions, but not the granted positions.
The 3 grant positions, correct. The 2
Right.
new positions are there, so I mean, that's good, but
Right.
the request for the $109,000 is not included in this schedule.
Okay.
And we'll know in a couple of weeks whether we need it or not.
Well, it's going back and forth. One of the positions has been partially extended. The other one, we have not heard anything about. Okay, so we don't know for sure, and that's at the state level. One of those grants, thank you, sir. One of those positions,
I only got one that gave you 5.
he's special. One of those positions is actually 2 people, and the other one is just 1 person, okay? Thanks, Greg. All right, now going down to line number 449. That is the request for IT, new position. And line number 456 is the new maintenance position.
And that is still included.
Those are included in the budget as they are now. And I gotta call Hilton and let him know if he's not watching this, and apologize to him, because I told him I thought we were taking it out. But anyway, It is still in there at this time. All right. Moving on down. And those 2,080 across the board are in all of them at this time except for Bobby's, and that will be corrected.
And it's not included in part-time positions, there's nothing for part-time, it's all full-time positions.
Right, the 2,080 is only for full-time positions. Okay,
It looks like on mine, it might have accidentally got put in there on part-time. Or is are you look at line item, Janice, 537, operator 10, you know, that's the one I took that money in.
That's still,
So it's only a $30,000.
that's still a full-time position.
It's-
It's not a part-time position.
So it's still considered full-time, even though there's $30,000 in the budget part?
it's full-time position. Mhm.
I'll gladly take it.
It's up to you, I mean, that's, whether you want it to be a part-time position or you want it to be a full-time position.
No, I just thought it had to if it wasn't if it wasn't enough to pay for it.
What I would suggest you do is take out of your budget and bring this 30,000 up to 39,000. That way, you can do with it what you want to. Leave it set, but right, it would be 41,75.
Like the rest of it,
Just like the rest of them. But you'd have to take that out of your budget
to make it come out.
to make it.
Well, I'm actually planning on next year doing some part-time stuff.
Okay. And I'm down, right now, down in the landfill.
So,
And then at the airport,
we're not gonna do anything for part-time at airport.
now, I notice a lineman part-time still has the 2,080, line number
That needs to come.
592.
My mistake.
I'm sorry, Commissioner?
Yeah, we're not gonna do anything for part-time out there,
No,
nothing at all.
no, because we're not, part-time across the board is handled the same way. But now, the lineman, part-time lineman,
I took it out.
okay, all right,
Delete that, Janice.
yes. Okay. All
It's
right,
gonna leave some hard feelings. With part-time versus full-time. How many other part-time positions we got across?
6?
What?
Six others?
I think so, with what, there's 3 at
Three at
the
the
airport.
How many at the landfill? we got
None
some.
at the
None
landfill.
at the landfill?
Uh-uh. Now, I say 6, I was thinking that I'd seen some elsewhere in another department that was considered, but I think that was elections.
Elections has a part-time, but it's chapter 19.
But it's still a part-time.
Well,
And,
that one's state funded, so I mean, it would.
okay, okay,
District clerk has a part-time position.
okay, see, that's,
I don't
that's
know
what I
if
was
she
thinking,
has
there was
the
like
field
6
that she's
total.
got.
Yeah, okay,
Has anybody got a problem with us giving part-time half of what we're giving full-time?
How many part-times are we talking about?
3
Or are you just talking about at the airport?
at the airport.
3 at the airport.
I'm telling you, you're gonna have some hard feelings.
Why don't we split up the 2,080 we just took from the lineman and just divide it between the part-time?
23.
That way we don't change the bottom number.
Let me see what that is. That'd be roughly $693.
3 ways.
3 ways.
Yeah, split it through.
That's the
It's better-
suggestion, is
It's
that
better
what,
than nothing.
you okay with
Yeah.
that? Okay, everybody. Yeah, Janice, did you understand that?
Okay, so we're gonna split the 2,083 ways at the
That-
airport?
That was the part-time lineman. Split that 3 ways and give the part-time lineman
And the
1/3,
Yep,
and the other 2 part-time cafe workers 1/3.
we're gonna be about $1 off, but it'll be $693. According to my calculator, which could be wrong. I reserve the right to be wrong.
Could be operator error.
It could be operator error.
Okay. And y'all understand the breakdown, when you get down to Castle Boykin, you'll see the difference there.
Who is the parks manager?
I think I passed it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, 602. Okay. The parks manager is the guy that lives down there at the park and takes care of all of the requests and everything that comes in at night. He's got, the position, when you go down there, he's up there, he's got, a camper, an RV set off to the right at the top of the hill, right
Okay.
there. And he's the one that takes care of, he collects money for people that come in at night, and any complaints or any noise complaints or anything that's gotta be taken care of, after hours, he's there. But what I'm showing you is that the Parks Director, you see the 1,040 instead of the 2,080, that is split into 2 different sections, so just be aware of that. Okay, any other questions? Okay.
Yeah, why do we do
Why do we do that?
that? Yeah.
Okay, he is paid out of 2 separate funds.
Oh, okay.
He's paid out of this fund, and then he's also paid out of Emergency Management Fund.
Yeah.
So he is the backup emergency management coordinator, okay? And so that 1,040 is split
Between the 2 departments.
between 2 departments, yes.
Gotcha.
Okay,
I got you.
got it, all right.
I didn't know that.
Okay. Got right on
What
down.
about county clerk? Amy's asking for something here on.
Record management. Yeah, record management. Amy's always asking, no,
19,450 to be paid from general fund instead of records management. Did we get that done?
What line, yeah, 608?
608.
What are we doing?
Benefits and longevity paid on 609. What's the request?
You want to explain what you're
Okay.
Okay, so before my time, before any of your time, the Commissioners Court approved for the county clerk to pay a full position out of the records management. That includes their salary and all of their benefits. So every time she gets a raise or whatever, it's coming out of my records management. Records management really isn't supposed to be used that way. There is an Attorney General's opinion saying that it can be used to pay salaries, but only if that person is that's all they do. And the deputy that it's paying, well, none of my clerks, that's not all they do. So eventually, I'm gonna try to, because my records management money is really supposed to be used, for my records, and it's paying the salary. And so all I'm asking, this year is for, the county to take over the benefits part of it, and the full salary to keep coming out of my records management, but not the benefits.
What do we need to do to fix that going forward? Is that something that we need to do as a court action and make some changes?
Like I said, I was just kind of, thinking it,
Why don't we address that? Do we need to do it this year? If you do this right now, what we're doing is we're just taking up the slack. Okay, but next year, we really need to address that as a court action and get that fixed. Okay.
So currently, what's happening, the reflection here is, under her records management, so what line was that?
609.
Okay, so, the salary and her salary's coming out of this fund, but the longevity pay is being subtracted out, and so is the salary and the benefits. The benefits are moved back up to her department, Department 7. So if you go back up to line, it's at the top, close to the top. Line 28, you'll see where I've added the benefits to her department rather than it coming out of records management.
It's in the,
And you see that reflected. I have to add the salary, so it'll calculate, and then I turn around and subtract out the salary.
okay.
So it leaves the benefits in her department.
Okay.
Okay.
But next year, we can address that, get that fixed. It'll have to take court action to correct it since it was done in the court. Okay.
Mike, just a quick question.
Mhm.
We're not gonna have a court between now and the time we do all this?
No,
That we
no,
can go ahead and run it through?
we've got a court next Tuesday
I'm just saying, if she got on the agenda to get it
for
changed.
this year but what we need to do is next year, we're actually gonna have to come up with a proposal next year to actually change or undo the court action that was done however many years back. We gotta go back and look at that action that was done so many years back and then do some research, and Carrie will have to be doing some research, find out how we can undo it.
Okay.
And we can address that next year. All right? Okay, right on down. And you'll see down there on line of number 638, grant reimbursement, you'll see those items in there where you've got grant reimbursement. In 642.
Now, just to bring to your attention, the grants that the DA currently has, we're budgeting the match for next year if she gets those grants extended. The match portion, the county portion, will be in the budget for next year if she gets them extended through next year. So that is in the budget for next year,
For
just for
protection.
the county match.
Yeah,
Just
for
in case.
protection, yes.
So we don't get caught like we did this.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. And I'm moving on down through, juvenile probation. And you'll see those salaries and everything are very heavily dependent on my grants, and you have to assume that so much of that is gonna be done. I mean, eventually that may change, but right now, it is the way it's working. All right. And then you'll see your grand totals at the bottom down there, 695 are the total salaries. Kind of give you an idea of what kind of payroll the county has.
Well, when you say 695, oh, you're talking about line 695. Okay,
I'm sorry,
I
I'm
was gonna
sorry.
say, what?
Line number 695, I'm
I
sorry.
was looking at line 693.
Yeah, yeah.
$15 million.
Okay, you failed to point out, if you go back up to the top of the salary schedule and you come down,
Okay, what line?
to the county attorney's office, line 66.
56, all the way at the top.
66.
66.
That Carrie has requested an admin assistant position.
I saw that and I skipped over it, sorry.
And he had also requested some pay raises that are not included in this.
Is that why the salary is highlighted on his?
Yeah, that's why they're in bold, because he had made some requests, and it's not included. This is what's actually being paid currently.
Like for assistant one, the 75, 180 is what's being paid now?
Yes, that is what they're
Okay.
paying now,
Okay, but that is, but that does not include,
what he had requested.
okay.
He had requested $78,180. If you look at the salary schedule with request,
Mhm.
you can go back and you can look and see. Let me go back to that department. And what I've tried to do is make sure, and I've missed it on some, could have missed it on some of them, but if you click on or if you go to line 70 on the salary schedule with request, and then you put your cursor on the 78,180, and you look up at the top, that gives you what they're currently making plus what their additional request was. You follow me?
Yes, ma'am.
And then it's all of them that are highlighted like that, that should be the way it is.
I was thinking that most of the highlighted ones were, that had the, okay, I see what you're saying.
Well, they were highlighted on the request, and then when I brought it over, they're still highlighted, but that was an
Okay.
indication that there was something requested that we did.
Okay. But as of right now, we don't have any we don't have any salary requests that were left in
No,
where we've got the 2,080 added. Okay, all right.
Was the I'm sorry, the administrative assistant on line 83, that was a request for another,
that is a request for a new position, and so that is included.
oh, it isn't.
That is included. If it's, if all the numbers are there, it is included. And then, I think that everything else has been pretty much gone over, with the exception of the new department. HR, Human
Right.
Resources.
And I'm gonna address that next. Carrie, where are you thinking about putting that other administrative assistant?
In the hallway?
This time, I mean, we had an extra assistant for years, and we had they usually were just officed up in the main office, so they had an extra
Okay.
desk.
You had a part-time or something,
Well, it was always a part-time position.
okay, and,
We had a part-time assistant for about, probably, at least 20 years since I've been there. It was always paid for out of the hot check department. It's
Okay.
always been part-time in the past.
but that's what I'm saying, that part-time position is getting, but doing away with the part-time.
Yes, sir. It has been, I haven't had a part-time about a year and a half.
Okay, but I remembered that there was a part-time at one time, but, okay, so actually what we're doing is
I
we're,
don't have the funds, I can't.
In the
fund
hot
that
check.
position anymore.
Right.
So that's,
Okay.
that was it was always paid completely out of the hot check funds. and the county
Okay.
Did not pay for any of it in the past.
okay,
So, for going on 2 years, we haven't had anybody in that position.
in that position.
It's not an official position. I've made a request, I guess, for the last couple of years to replace it with a full-time position.
Okay,
We've taken on more duties, CPS, so we still have to work, but,
yeah,
back more. But anyway, that's the basis of the request. We had that position, and we're not able to fund it anymore, so
okay,
basically we have less personnel now than we've had.
okay. Does that make sense? Everybody
You got an
understand
office there
that?
besides Sykes, don't you? It's empty?
It is.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Okay, thank you. Now, one other thing that we've got to request is what Janice was just talking about. And I'm gonna let her address it, but it's something that, I will say that it's something that we've been looking at. We have been ducking the bullet for a number of years. And it is something that we definitely need to talk about. Now, right now, it is not in the budget, correct? It is in the budget, okay.
You did put it in the budget? What
It
line?
is,
I'm trying to find it.
okay. That was the reason I said when I went through all this, I didn't
I
see
didn't
it.
see it either, I was looking for it too.
Yeah, but I knew, and what we discussed and what I'm, for the live stream purposes and everything, we've known here in Angelina County for some time that we need this department. And this is
Well, you're not, I don't even see, what line are you
It's
on?
line 378,
378, all right,
Oh, on the salary?
yeah, on the salary schedule.
uh-huh,
And then it's
Okay.
also a department on the general fund line tab also.
okay,
Is that what one pays?
all right,
What Debbie and Doug has been doing some research, and they found, they just took an average of the counties our size around us that had one, and that was just the salary that they came up with. Now, whether or not we can find somebody with that salary, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but we just wanted to.
I wouldn't work for that salary.
Well, it's gonna be a lot of responsibility, I can assure you.
That's why I wouldn't work for that salary.
That was a starting point. I mean, that was a starting point for us.
What Jenny said, my concern with it is, at that salary, we're gonna get somebody fresh, green, who doesn't have any
And we don't need
experience.
that. We need somebody
We
that's got
need some-
experience.
what we're talking about is,
So,
for the live stream purposes, what we're talking about is human resources. The county has not had an adequate human resource department separate from everything else. What we've been doing is this individual's been taking care of this part of human resource responsibility, and this individual's been taking care of this, and it's really not ever been handled as professionally as it needs to. So we've known that there is a need here, and if we go ahead and open this up and actually be looking at put this department in place for this next year, I think it would be a big step in the right direction.
I'm throwing my 2 cents, and y'all take it for what it's worth. If we don't do this, we're asking for a world of hurt here in the future.
If we
And-
don't
and
do
that-
it,
Not the extended future, I'm talking about the immediate future,
if we don't do it,
if we don't do it.
right. No, it's something that we need to do in this year's
That's
budget.
just my opinion, y'all
And
run
it-
with whatever you wanna do.
And it is in the budget for this next year at this pay scale. And, if the pay scale's not adequate, we'll deal with that as the time comes. But that is, after the research that was done, this is what we're looking at for right now.
You've got a person who goes to school to get a 4-year degree, and they come out and they're gonna work for something less than $60,000.
Somebody wants to live in the wonderfulness of Angelina County.
Yeah. I understand, but they still gotta
Okay.
pay off those student loans
So guys,
and eat.
this is where we are right now. Now you're looking at exactly what's proposed. And now it's time for y'all to weigh in at this point to see exactly, do you want to have an opportunity to reflect on this and look at it, and then let's do this again tomorrow, or what's the best way that y'all want to handle it? Because this, actually, we're not gonna have any final figures for several days, but bringing everybody in to where you can see exactly where we are at this point with the thinking that Janice and I have at this time. You're getting a complete preview.
Jen, is that, for my clarification, what's, on the human resources, personnel, what would be top end scale of pay? Do you have,
I mean, we've seen where $100,000 in in counties that were smaller than us, and they would have a department with 2 or 3 people in it. Counties smaller than us, but I don't know what county that was, but I mean, it could be counties that's got like oil rig. I mean, I don't know, the
Right.
salaries could be a lot higher.
well, I don't wanna base it off of oil revenue or anything
But I
like
mean,
that.
so I don't know what county it was.
Yeah.
Doug and Eddie were the ones that were trying to go back and do
What,
some research.
what about the low end scale?
Well, I'd say this would probably be the low end.
Well, that's the problem we got across this county, is that we keep shooting at the low end scale.
And if you go back to the, general fund, year-to-date May tab.
Where are you going?
Back to the general fund tab,
Yes.
I was gonna look and see where that department was, it's line,
Should be at the bottom somewhere, shouldn't it?
it's on line 367.
Okay.
And that's the budget that, was come up with as far as some expenditures of trying to get the department set up.
Mhm.
There's responsibilities there that HR is supposed to be doing, the county's not doing that. I don't wanna go into that, but, there's things that an HR department that normally handles that we need to be doing that we're not doing. And so that's part of that budget.
Examples, that's drug testing that we have not been doing.
We're not doing that, we're not doing background checks, and
Mhm.
we're supposed to be doing.
And that would all shift over to that department.
How long can we recess for?
We can recess for for over, you talking about, meeting back this
Yeah, like
afternoon?
if we come back in the next couple of days, instead of having to repost everything, can we recess
You can recess for the next day.
just till the next day, or can you recess till third?
I believe it's for the next day, I'm not certain.
Yeah, I don't know if we could do for several days. I know you can do it for later in the day, but I was thinking that no longer than the next day, but I'm not 100% positive. And give everybody an opportunity
Yeah,
to
look over
study and
everything
look
and
over
then-
everything.
If we can do it without having to repost, it'd be great. Come back
Right.
in a couple
Then
of
we
days.
can bring our questions in and
Sure,
get answers and be
Sure.
done.
you bet.
I had 72 hours in my mind, but that may not, that's probably not right. I know we recessed for 24 hours. I do know that, because we've done it.
Yeah,
We can recess for the morning.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. We can recess until, tomorrow morning,
Let's do that.
for sure. All right,
And what everybody needs to understand now is this is just preliminary numbers, and because until we get the certified numbers from the appraisal district, we don't even know what our effective rate, no new tax rate, all that is. We're just guessing based on, so all this is based on staying below the rollback, the
No new revenue.
Yeah, rate.
Has the cars went, just a question,
mm-hmm.
has the cars went up that much that we're using for the sheriff's department? I thought they went like 50 last year.
No, that's for all the equipment stuff, probably, before you dress them
What are
out.
we asking? What line?
It's, well, it's back over yonder in that,
General fund?
yeah,
What, in what line?
What line?
I don't know yet, bear with me.
Okay,
And that may be, instead of recessing, we might consider, while you're looking at that, we might consider waiting till we have concrete numbers.
Right.
And then bring-
well, we could, but, as far as if there's going to be, I wanted y'all to see exactly what the thinking was at this time. And we can go from there and,
I will say cars have gone up though, Greg.
Yeah, but it's like $12,000 difference. I mean, it's not, go ahead, buddy.
Yes, sir.
But I don't have the statutes here with me, but it appears you can, based on this publication, that you can recess till the next business day without additional notice.
right,
Beyond that, you have to repost them.
okay, all right. So do you want to recess until, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning?
I make a motion, we recess to 10 a.m. Wednesday morning.
All right,
I'll second that.
and we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. We are recessed. Thank you, gentlemen.
I still can't find that line item you was talking about, Greg.
308, I think so.
Is it 308?